There we go. And here we are, the Wednesday workshop. Fabulous. And today we're going to be looking at positive mindset. And as you probably gathered by now with these, I don't really do the whole kind of, well, despite the image, don't really do the whole kind of fluffy hippie kind of thing. So we're not going to be kind of looking at denial and everything's just lovely, because that's not positive mindset, that's delusion. So I'll try to stay real with it. I will try to stay real with it, and hopefully I've got quite a few things to cover, but actually I thought we'd start. I don't know why, maybe it's just because it's been a warmer day, but I just thought we'd start with a shortish relaxation meditation, just so we can go, right, the rest of the day's done, this is my time now, and then we'll get into the rest of the workshop. So I shall invite you to have a stretch, have a fidget, get comfortable. Everyone knows that now. You see everyone just going, oh yeah, that's getting comfortable, that's getting comfortable. And I decided I was going to do this, didn't decide how. That's how we'll do it. Fab. So what we're going to do, very, very simple. We're going to start, as we quite often start, with 3 deep breaths together. We'll take those 3 deep breaths. I do not want you to close your eyes until the 3rd deep breath. And on that 3rd deep breath, what I want you to do is really push your eyes open as wide as you can. And then just allow your eyes to close and relax. And I'll guide you from there. So, sitting comfortably or lying comfortably, making sure you're not restricting your breathing in any way. Let's begin by taking a breath with each other. Let's take a breath with the spirit of coming together. Let's take a breath with the blessings and possibilities of each and every day. Eyes wide open as you breathe out, allow your eyes to close just in the time that you need to take to relax, to let go and unwind. And just allow yourself to become loose, limp and heavy, your shoulders to get heavy, relax your shoulders, bring them back a little bit. Just allow yourself to sink into wherever you're sitting or lying right now at this moment. And I want you to just become aware of that place within you that now feels most comfortable and most still. I don't know where that is for you that feels most comfortable and most still, but just put your attention on that comfort and that stillness and allow that feeling to start to spin and flow within you. To spin and flow within you, and just keep focusing on that sensation of stillness and calm, comfortability, and bring that sense of stillness, that sense of comfort on your breath. Slowly bring it down and into a point just a couple of inches below your navel, just within. Japanese, that's the hara, the lower elixir field, the dantian. If you're looking at chakras, that would be the sacral chakra. And just notice as you gently guide that sense of stillness and comfort into that center. Just begin to notice where you start to relax more now. Allowing yourself to let go of the worries and cares of the day, because this is your time now. Just for you. comfort, that stillness to settle in that center. With every breath, breathing into it, filling the body with that comfort. And wherever that relaxation is most noticeable for you now, just allow it to move, to flow and to spread. However you do that, as you're breathing, as you're relaxing, as you're listening to my voice, I wonder just how much deeper than this you can go now. As you continue to relax, you're going to speak to that inner part of you, that part of your inner self that observes, that learns, that understands at deeper levels. That innate ability that you've always had to learn. And ask that part to listen for the subtleties and the essence of what we share tonight. So that even though you may not consciously know how, you will, after this workshop, begin to discover new levels of positive thinking, positive attitude, and positivity in your life. And even if you've always thought yourself as quite a positive person, a little bit like exercise, there's always a muscle that we discover that we didn't know we had. And you can begin to discover that extra positivity in your thoughts, your feelings, and your focus from this day onwards. Now, when you're ready to sit back and enjoy today's workshop, you can just open your eyes, be here now. Get comfortable. We'll carry on. So, as I've already said, in the approach with this, I think it's important to define what's meant by positive mindset, because the danger with positive psychologies is that a person puts themselves in a state of denial, a delusional state where they're denying that they have problems, not dealing with the problems, just pretending everything's wonderful and lovely all the time. And the reality of life is, it's not. But that's okay. Life is not always perfect. Life has its challenges. We all know this. And positive mindset doesn't mean that you live in a bubble where none of that ever bothers you, where you don't have to deal with it, that everything's so lovely and smells of roses. It doesn't mean that. A mindset, a positive mindset, is one where you choose to focus on the positive in any situation. And rather than focusing on the negatives and the problems, you focus on the solutions, the learning, and all that you can gain through any situation. So it's not delusion, it's not rose-tinted glasses, but a mindset in which one chooses to focus on the positive and on solutions rather than on the negative and problems of any given situation. That, I think, is the simplest way of defining it. It's a way of being where, because we don't have much control, and this is something that I come back to a lot with I meditate, we don't have a lot of control what goes on out there. But how we choose to react, that's completely our choice. And sometimes we've got learnt behaviors in certain situations on how we react, and by identifying them and knowing what they are, we can then assess whether or not they are beneficial, whether they're a positive or a negative response, and if that response is a negative response, and we can see that there is another way that you can react to those challenging situations, then we can work at changing those. And again, within our Meditate, we've got the self-hypnosis, we've got meditations, there's so many ways that you can work on changing different beliefs and ideas, and of which we're going to carry on exploring for as long as. So there are many traits and characteristics associated with a positive mindset. And I'm just going to look at a few of the I would say the main ones that get associated. I think I would say they're the main ones. They're the key ones for me that came up when I was putting this together. First is optimism, and a willingness to make an effort and to take a chance instead of assuming your efforts won't pay off. There's a lot of things, using my own life's journey as an example, there are a lot of things that if I hadn't had a positive mindset in my life would never have happened. When I, for a while, was living down south, and I was very involved in Druidry down there, and when me and my partner at the time moved back up to Shropshire, no one was putting on and doing workshops and meetings and retreats and stuff. It just wasn't happening, certainly within Druidry. And a negative mindset would have come and gone, there's nothing much happening here. I guess that's it then. Yeah. If I'd have come up with that attitude, then there's some amazing things in my life, that amazing people that I've met, that it just wouldn't have happened. However, when it came up, the mindset was, there's no one here doing this. Let's do something. Let's give it a go. And let's take the attitude that we're just doing it for us. And if no one turns up, that's fine, because we're still doing it for us. But if other people turn up, well, that would be great. And so we started in the September. I still remember it, in the September. In fact, actually, it was quite an interesting. And we did for the autumn equinox, we did a gathering, a bit of a celebration. At which point, when I gathered everyone and we started officially, a wasp flew inside my t-shirt, stung me under the armpit, and I had to carry on and do the whole thing kind of like this, a little bit in pain. But hey, but we did it, and as it wasn't just the two of us for that. There was I think about a dozen people turned up. And these people said they'd like to do more, so we did, and then we started a discussion group once a month in a local pub, and that started getting people coming to it. And all this was because we just had this, well, let's give it a try, there's possibilities. It's either going to work or it won't. But you're only going to know if it's going to work if you do it. So all this is a positive mindset. It's not rose-tinted. We're not going to say, oh, we'll do this thing and thousands of people are going to become. It'll be like, Jesus feeding the 5,000s. It's not going to be like that. It wasn't like that. It was like, well, we'll do it. And if people want it, they'll turn up. And if they don't, we're still out having a good time. That grew. We ended up with 50 people coming to the celebrations at a time. We had to move pubs twice because of the number of people that would come to the discussion group. And all these people were amazing people, and the word got out that we were doing this. The next thing, there's an opportunity to go and we're asked to run the workshops there's 3 workshops for 3 different groups at the largest gathering of Druids in the world. And I was like, guys, would you like to come down and for 2 years run all the workshops? And oh, by the way, can you write the main summer solstice ritual and winter solstice rituals? Don't worry about it, you can do it. There's people from all over the world coming, so there's no pressure to make it good or anything. And again, a positive mindset. Well, yeah, I won't lie, it's a bit scary, but a positive mindset meant that we went, okay, well, there's an opportunity, can we do it? There's only one way we're going to find out. And let's go for it. And so we did. And off the back of that, then got invited to go and do the largest gathering in Europe. But all of this comes from having a positive, optimistic mindset. Not I can't do that, there's no point, no one's going to like it. Just let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Yes, a bit scary, a bit exciting, but let's see what happens. So optimism, acceptance, acknowledging that things don't always turn out how you want them to. We all know that. But it should never stop us. It should never stop us from doing anything. Because it might not go how you want it to. But what have you learned? What have you gained? You've gained experience. You will have gained learning. As long as you're prepared to look at yourself when something goes wrong, you can learn and grow and better yourself. I was on, those of you who made Monday's meditation will know that I came straight from a talk by Kane Ramsey. He did 3 hours in the end. I can't wait to catch up with it. He's one of the guys that who I've trained with, who's a mentor, and he proposed on his mindfulness. In the St. Ives Corner when we moved there for 3 years, brought it back. I'm just going to read that for a minute. Let's have a quick look what Linda said there. Did a lot of paganism in St. Ives. Got to love St. Ives. When we moved there 3 years ago, I brought it back with me to Shropshire. That's it. That's it. And it you don't just stop these things. You bring them with you. And if there's no one out there doing it, and you want to connect with other people, you either sit at home going, oh well, there's nothing happening, or you put it out there and you invite people to come and be part of. Kane Ramsey, getting back to Kane Ramsey, he talked marvelously on his mindfulness talk. The idea that in any one day, I think I shared this the other day, in any one day you are good enough. You are good enough. Perfection is another delusional thing that will only ever send you mad. But in any one day, in any one moment, you are good enough. That's not to say there aren't things to learn, to grow and become better. But that's the self-cultivation. That's why we work on ourselves. But accepting that you are good enough, that there will always be something new to learn, and learning from the mistakes, learning from the things that didn't quite happen as they should or as you thought they would, is another aspect of that positive mindset. If we have a positive mindset, then we tend to be more resilient. We've all had challenges. We've all had things we've had to face, and then they've not been easy. They've not been easy at all. There are very few people in the world who really can say that there hasn't been something. I mean, proportionately, we might go, well, that's nothing, but to the individual, it will have still been a big thing. And our stuff to somebody else might seem like it's not that big a thing, but to us it was, but to them their stuff seems really, you get it. But with resilience, if we have a positive mindset, if we're not rose tinted because there's a bubble waiting to be burst, but if we're kind of solution focused, looking for the positives in a situation, when things go wrong, what can we learn? When there are challenges, what can I do? Who's the person I need to become? To all this thinking helps with resilience, and helps us bounce back from adversity, from disappointment and failure, instead of giving up. Because when I do weight loss work with people, the only time you fail, the only time you truly fail, is when you give up and you don't do it. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you want to learn to play the piano and it's really tricky for you, the only time you fail at learning the piano is when you stop. Whilst you're learning to play the piano, you are succeeding at learning to play the piano. And so it is with a lot of things. So resilience is another trait of the positive mindset. Gratitude. And we've done a whole section on gratitude. I don't know if you've all managed to catch that one. It's in the members area. Actively and continuously appreciating the good things in your life. And some of you will have heard me use this analogy, this story before. But in America, they did an experiment with a few hundred students. No one knew what the experiment was. All they were told was that they had to walk along a corridor. And halfway along the corridor, there was a chair. And under the chair, there was a roll of I think it was in America, it'd be like $50 bills or $100 bills, can't remember which. But there was quite a nice, if you'd found it, it would have been a nice day out. And it was tucked under the chair. And half of the students were people who had a negative mindset. They believed nothing good happened to them. They would give up. They couldn't see the positive in anything. They believed bad things always happened to them. You get the picture. And the other group were people with positive mindsets. They believed that good things happened to them, that they could be lucky, that opportunity existed. And so they sent all these students down this very animated down this passageway, down this corridor, and almost every single one of the negative mindset students failed to see the money, almost without fail. However, pretty well every single one of the students with the positive mindset clocked the money and picked it up. And when we develop a sense of gratitude, where we end our days and look back over our day going, oh, do you know, I'm really grateful for this that came up, that came up. It's not like a manifesting, it's not like a magical thing, although it is a kind of magical thing. But the more we focus on those positives that are happening in our everyday, and they don't have to be big things, I went to the shop earlier on, and before me there was somebody in the queue, and bless them, they did get confused, and it was all a bit kind of a bit of a carry-on cashier type moment. And afterwards, when I went up to get served, the guy who'd been serving the person in front of me was kind of like, I'm not looking at you, stop smiling, it's not funny, it's not funny. And there was this marvellous moment that I knew if I'd kind of actually looked up at him, he was going to burst out laughing, and we'd have both had a good laugh. But as it was, I didn't do that. But, when I look back on today, that was a lovely moment. It was a really nice moment, bit of a connection with somebody, kind of know the guy because I've seen him in the shop before. But it was a moment to be grateful for. It was a fun moment. It lifted me. I was kind of, but the more we tune into the positives, the possibilities and the opportunities, the more we notice. It's not that they're magically appearing. They're always there. They always have been. But the more we tune into it, the more we focus on it, the more we see ourselves in a more positive mindset, the more of the good opportunities, the more of those things come about. When we have a positive mindset, we tend to have, how would I put this? We tend to want to dedicate time and effort to raising our consciousness, raising our level of mindfulness, being more mindful in our lives. And people with a positive mindset tend to really enjoy things that help them focus better. So things like meditation, personal development work, again, all the kind of stuff we do as I meditate. If people tend to have a more positive mindset, then they tend to gravitate towards those things. And again, with a positive mindset, another trait is that people tend to have a certain level of integrity, of virtue. They tend to be more honourable, righteous, and just straightforward, instead of kind of self-serving and power-obsessed and deceitful. So there's a few things there's a few of the traits. There's if you Google it, you will find lists and lists of the traits of positive people. But those, I think, are the key ones. We can look a little bit deeper at that. Having a positive attitude, a positive mindset, is literally looking adversity in the eye, going, "Come on, then, let's do this." rising to those challenges in life. Okay, yeah, no, this might not be fun all the way, but I'm going for this. It's getting and receiving what life gives you without throwing a hissy fit. Anyway, a kid wants something, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it, and then when they don't get quite the thing, they throw a tantrum and blah blah blah. It's going, great, I got a thing. Maybe you decide to go to a car boot sale and you only sell one thing. You were hoping to clear it all out, but you sell one thing. Maybe it covered your pitch fee, who knows? But you sold one thing. A positive mindset, positive attitude goes, hey, I turned up and I sold something. Not, oh God, it's been a rubbish day. It's not. You still made some money. Enjoying the unexpected. So, maybe go out for a night and that night's been planned, but then something happens and it doesn't happen quite how you expected it to. But some of the positive mindset, there's more flexibility with life, more durability and flexibility, and you can find that you can actually enjoy the unexpected. Even if it's not quite what you planned, even if it hasn't gone where you thought it would. You can go, wow, that was a journey, or that was a great night, or I remember driving back from London from a gig once, and there was a most horrendous, it was a horrendous detour. I ended up back at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I could have just moaned and moaned. It was me and a friend went on this one, a magician friend back from this gig, and it was long journey back. Should have taken about 4 hours. We set off at about 10:30 at night and got back at 5 o'clock in the morning. And but you know what? I could go, oh, it was horrendous, it was horrible. I just did. But in all fairness, I'm laughing at it. And I also got to spend some quality time with a friend, and actually on that journey we did a lot of talking, a lot of sharing, and that was a real blessing from that. It was really a wonderful thing. Yeah, we had to go somewhere else, but hey, it was great. Tired, albeit, but it was worth it. So also another characteristic trait of positive mental attitudes is you tend to motivate and lift other people. Someone posted on Facebook earlier on this afternoon a thing about I'll probably mess this quote up because it's only just popped into my head. Lighting a second candle doesn't diminish the brightness of the first one. That was it. And I love that. I absolutely love that, because when we have a positive mindset, if we shine and lift others and they start to shine, it doesn't take away from us. It just makes the world a better place. Quite often, and this might seem like a simple thing, but people with a positive mindset know when a smile will solve a situation. They know the power of the smile. They can sense a situation. If a situation is a bit rocky, or there's a bit of a heated conversation, they know. There's just this knowing of, if I just, yeah, come on. Is it really that? Yeah, come on, that's it. You know what I mean? It's that positivity. It is actually infectious. But if it's false, I'm going to say it's obnoxious. That's not the most sensitive way of describing it, but false positivity it's saccharine, it's false, it's can't be doing with it. Another trait of if we're more positive is that we will if we have a mental attitude that is a positive mental attitude, we tend to just be friendly with everyone, even if we don't know them. I was chatting earlier on to somebody outside, and there's a chap in the street who comes and goes, and we've ended up giving him the nickname of God's Goblin, because he's a funny looking character, and he goes to one of the churches. But I really like the guy, and I can sit and I can chat with him and talk with him, spend time with him. If I had a negative mindset, I might struggle with that. a lot of people I know just, oh, I can't be dealing with him, got no time for him. But it's an interaction, it's a connection. I've learned things from chatting to the guy, you know, so it's a win-win if you ask me. So these are some of them. I mean, I've already said that I've gone from notes. So I've said about, you know, lifting people, being a source of energy for people, and people in positive mindsets tend to have a better understanding of relationships. They can be happy even when they have little. They can still have a good time even though there might be something really challenging going on in life at that moment. They can still go out and have a good time or do something that makes themselves feel good. They have a positive future, and no matter how bad the current situation is, you can still hold on to a positive future. You'll smile. If you have a positive mindset, you'll smile more. And that's a good thing, because when we smile, it releases lots of nice chemicals in our brain, and it makes us feel good, and then it makes other people feel good. Although I remember once sitting on the tram actually in Croydon, very late at night, and there was a very, very drunk person, and I smiled, and don't get me wrong, it was amusing. I spent 2 hours with this very, very London sounding guy trying to convince me he was Billy Connolly, who's obviously a very Scottish sounding guy. So sometimes a smile can kind of put you in a situation where you were kind of thinking, oh, right, okay. But as it was, you know, it was fun. I had a laugh. We encourage people, we compliment people. If you have a positive mindset, you get to a point where you can build up this kind of barrier that it doesn't exclude people, but it doesn't allow other people's negativity to drag you down. You kind of see it for what it is, and you're able to maintain your mindset, and how you feel. And a really, I think, wonderful thing of having a positive mindset is when we develop a positive mindset, we tend to be more true to ourselves. We tend to have a better sense of who we are, what we want, and how to live our lives more authentically. And developing the right thoughts is not, as I said, it's not being kind of constantly happy and woo, life's great. And it's not about ignoring those things that are unpleasant in your life. I know, I see you do that all the time, Sally, and I've kind of, on your Facebook posts and everything, you'll kind of go, oh, this is great, that's great, oh, look what this person's done. And that's the thing. That's the thing. If everybody was coming from that kind of place, the world would be a better place. So it's not about ignoring the negative and the unpleasant, because those things are there. There's going to be stuff that you don't want to deal with. But it's about incorporating both the positive and negative into your perspective, but choosing to still be optimistic. So, yeah, let's, I don't know, pick something up. You've just lost a job. That's negative, right? That's not a great thing. Now, negative mindset would be like, oh no, I've got no job, how am I going to get another one, blah, 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 this is terrible, blah, 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 blah. However, a positive mindset would be, okay, I've lost my job. What can I learn from this? What can I take from this? What do I need to do? This isn't a great moment, but I know this moment will pass. Where do I want to be in 6 months' time? How do I get there? So you're not denying the situation, but rather than wallowing in it and feeling sorry for yourself, you go, okay, yeah, this isn't great. It's been better, but it can also be a lot better again. And that's the way it always goes. It's like this. If it always went like that, one day you'd drop off. So choosing to be positive even when the negative stuff's going on. Yeah, no, it's not great. It's not great. And sometimes people say to me, oh, what's going on? And you're kind of like, oh, well, this happened, that happened. Like when COVID hit, You know, that was something we all experienced. And if you're self-employed and you suddenly couldn't go out and do your work, that was an interesting situation. And I had 3 or 4 days where I was like a headless chicken. It's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, there's literally nothing going to be coming in. And then woke up one morning going, that's a negative mindset. That's not going to help anyone, or it's certainly going to make things. So what do I want from this? It's not what I expected. What do I want from it then? Well, how about I come out of this in a better situation than I was to do what I do and love? And that seemed to me like a good plan. And so that was the focus of being in lockdown. I was able to do lots and lots of training that I'd hoped to do and top up on what I'd already done. And I was able to pick that way. And that's also why we're now sat here doing this. Because I knew things could get better, I knew could go past, and I knew something new could come from it. If I'd had a negative mindset, I'd have just, well, as people have done, and I know because I've worked with some, it really had made them struggle and really built up anxiety and stress and yeah. But once you start turning that, go, okay, yeah, it's not great, but it can be better. Where do you want it to be? How are we going to get there? Simple questions, but really powerful questions that keep you focusing on that which is positive. Remember, today you're good enough. Tomorrow you can be better. How great is that? So 7 ways we can develop a positive mindset. 1, and we've touched on affirmations in the past, and if you've done the self-hypnosis course, I'm going to be running that again actually later this year. But if you've done the self-hypnosis course, go into it there, because affirmations came about from a guy called embark, who coined the in every day in every way I'm getting better and better, or whatever he said. And what came from that is we now said, oh, you wake up in the morning and just say this thing 10 times and it's positive and it makes you feel good. And it does just make you feel good most times. But what's not taught in that is the fact that embark used affirmations after teaching people how to do self-hypnosis. And so they were going into self-hypnosis using the affirmations. And that plants the affirmation in the unconscious mind better than just repeating it. So if you really want to get the most out of affirmations, learn self-hypnosis. Straight away, you will notice a difference. But start the day with positive affirmations. Just, even if it's just, just for today. I really like that. I take that from taking that straight from Reiki. The idea of just for today. Just for today, I'm going to have a good day. Takes the pressure off the rest of the week. I'm going to worry about the rest of the week. Just for today, I'm going to have a good day. Just for today, I'm going to strive to be my best. Just for today, good things are going to happen to me. Just for today, I'm noticing the things in my life to be grateful for. Making it just about today is, 1, quite a mindful practice. You're saying here and now, just for today. And then following that up with that positive, just for today, I'm going to be great at work. Just for today, I'm going to be more confident in that interview I've got. It means you haven't got to worry about necessarily being that another day. It's just for today. It's a really powerful way of using affirmations. And sometimes we kind of go, oh, in the future, I am a wonderful person. Well, why? Why wait till the future? Why not be a wonderful person now, today? Just for today. And then when you wake up tomorrow, you can be a wonderful person tomorrow, just for today. So, positive affirmations. A bit like the experiment with the students and those that focused on the positive and good things in their lives or the money, focus on good things, however small they are. Focus on them. Be grateful for them. Might be a conversation. It might just be that you got home from work, made yourself a cup of tea or a coffee and just nailed it. Every now and again you make that one brew and you just go, oh, that was good. And that's something to be grateful for. And if nothing else, At the end of a day, if it's been a day from hell, you can be grateful for the fact you're about to go to sleep and it's done. It's always something to be grateful for. Start to, and I think when I worked with kids in care, I think we developed a way of laughing at sometimes what were quite serious and sometimes even dangerous situations with kickoffs and things. But by learning to find the humor in a situation, being able, that thing, laughing at adversity, is a really good way of developing a positive mindset. Sometimes, sometimes that develops a slightly darker sense of humor. I actually think, and it's just my thought, but I actually think is one of the things that is a good characteristic of the British people is they can really take a situation that's dire and take the mickey out of it and have a laugh about it. Probably, I think, better than quite a few other places in the world. So learn to laugh, learn to find the humor in situations. Another way to develop a positive mindset is, rather than going, I've failed, I've messed up, go, okay, this hasn't gone to plan. What can I learn from this? Turn disasters, turn failures into lessons and learn from them. The more you do that, the more you grow as an individual. It means you've got to take a bit of responsibility for yourself, but real change and life itself starts to really come together for you when you take that responsibility for yourself. So learn to take, what's it they say in NLP, there are no failures, only feedback. So every situation that doesn't go how you want it to, every situation that doesn't happen how you would hope it did, was, or how you planned, or completely goes, or any difficult time you go through, has lessons for you to learn. And you can just kind of ignore them and then probably end up in a similar situation again, or you can learn those lessons and avoid being in similar situations again, which then is something to be grateful for, which ties in more with your positive mindset. I think we did the dealing with negative self-talk and positive self-talk workshop. I'm trying to think. I know it's in the list of ones to do. I can't remember if we've done it or not. We've done quite a few now. But transform your negative self-talk. If you find yourself saying, oh, you're no good, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that, just stop yourself. Ask yourself, would I talk to a friend like that? Hopefully the answer will be no. And then tell yourself something different. If there's an interview, if there's a job, or there's something, or even if there's something you want to treat yourself to, and you're like, oh no, I haven't really done enough. Well, no, I don't deserve that, really. Nonsense. That's just negative self-talk. That's you making yourself not feel good. Sometimes it's our own voice, sometimes it's actually the voice of somebody in our past echoing around. But when you notice negative self-talk, just stop it. Put a mental stop up in your mind and then say the opposite. So if you're going, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that, just stop yourself. You know what? Might not be immediately, but there's every possibility I can do this. Monitor your negative self-talk. Make it positive. There's some great techniques for that, actually. I think I've shared one or two of them in the past. If you've got a voice in your head that's always talking negatively to you, the best thing you can do, and I've used this so many times, and it makes people smile, but it's working. The best thing you can do, got a negative dialogue with yourself going on, that negative voice going, hey, you're no good, you're no good. Take that voice, because it's your voice at the end of the day. Take that voice and think of, say, a comedian or somebody who, no matter how much they tried to tell you something, they could tell you the sun was going to rise tomorrow, but because of their voice, because of the sound of their voice, you just wouldn't believe them. I always say, like someone like Joe Pasquale with that high squeaky voice, and then just change that voice in your head. So that voice, rather than going, look, you're no good at this. You're not going to be able to do it. It's going, I mean, you can't take that seriously, can you? But that's the point. Change the voice of negativity in your head to a voice you can't take seriously, and suddenly you find yourself not taking that negative voice seriously. And then you can imagine it's further away. And put it somewhere where you can't even hear it. And then bring a voice in that, you know, quite often people say Morgan Freeman for this one, but imagine a voice of somebody as if they were going, hey, you know you've got this. You can do this. You are good enough, if not better than that. And just imagine that voice, that if somebody said that to you, you'd go, yeah, okay, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm with you. And switch that voice out. And yeah, that's using your imagination, but your imagination is one of the most powerful tools you have for personal change. And it doesn't have to be difficult. That's the thing. So, another way of maintaining and developing a positive mindset is focusing on the present. Don't get caught up. Remember the just for today thing. Just for today. Don't be getting caught up in the future. The future hasn't happened yet. And a lot of what you think might be happening possibly might not. And if you've got a positive mindset, that'll be fine. You'll enjoy it anyway. Don't hang on and cling to the past. Attachment causes misery. Don't identify with your past. Your past is not happening. You are not the person. There's a real dear friend of mine from college, and I hadn't heard from him for years. And when we first got in touch, it was Facebook, and I messaged him. I said, "Oh my God, it's great to catch up." He goes, "Oh, yeah, it's good to hear from you, Rob." He said, "But you probably don't want to actually stay in touch. I'm not the person that you knew. I'm not actually a good person." I was wrenched. It was horrible to hear someone, well, I've seen him for years, we still care, don't you? And I just messaged him and said, "Are you that person today?" And he got back and said, "Well, no." I said, "So this is something in the past?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "So are you doing whatever that was now? Are you being that person now?" He's like, "No." So why are you still carrying it? That's not you now. Just for today, you can be that good person. And this, it went from him just saying, "Look, don't have anything to do with me, I'm a bad person," to got together at New Year's Eve and saw in the new year with him, which was just a beautiful thing to do. Him and his new girlfriend, who also went to college with. But he was holding on to the past. He was identifying with his past rather than going, "That's not who I am now. And who I am in the future doesn't exist yet. So I can be whoever I want it to be." There's always change. Everything changes. Find people that inspire you. Find people, friends, mentors, co-workers who are positive. If people are really negative and down on you all the time, if you feel exhausted from being with them, because they're like, "Well, why do you want to do that? Oh, it probably won't work for you." Move them on out. It's not cruel. It doesn't have to be horrible. It doesn't have to be a big drama. But you don't need negative people. And you know what? You boost your mindset. You get that positive thing going. And maybe there'll become a time when you can lift that person too. But whilst you're working on it, you just need to surround yourself. YouTube is wonderful. It's kind of positive, and you may have already done this. And if you go to the Secret Cinnamon part of the I Meditate members forum, there are a number of different videos that I've watched, which I've gone, "Oh, that's great, I'll share that." And I just whack them in there. And they're all motivational, they're all positive, you listen to one of them a day. Your positivity, your focus, your everything will lift, your mindset will be up here. So before we finish with a guided thing, I'm being technical there. Before we finish, we're going to look at some activities that you can do And the beauty of it is the more you do these, the more you can discover how much they will work for you. That you can do to help boost and gain a positive mindset. And the first one of these is my all-time absolute favorite, and it is simple. Listen to music. Listen to music, the kind of music that lifts you. Because music speaks to us at a different level. You know, I'm talking ideas and sharing thoughts, and so our logical, conscious brain's going, oh yes, that I can see how that might work, and oh, I've not thought of that before, and yeah, and some of this is going into your unconscious mind, and you'll find that you are doing it, and you don't know how, you don't know why. It's just it will start happening for you. But listen to music, because music is directly hitting into our unconscious mind. Listen to music that lifts, listen to music that empowers, listen to music that makes you go, yes. Yeah? Whether that's 80s rock power ballads, classical music, jazz, folk, whatever music lifts you and makes you feel good, listen to it daily. Absolutely. And it'll just lift you, bring your mindset up to a more positive place. Express your gratitude and thankfulness, not just like at the end of the day, you know, when you kind of do your gratitude journal, because we're all keeping gratitude journals, of course. You know, at the end of the day, you can go, I'm grateful for this, this, and this. But actually, like the interaction in Tesco's, the guy there, afterwards I said, oh, cheers, mate. And be grateful and thank people. There's a lady, she motors up and down the high street here on a mobility scooter. Her name's Rose, and I remember the first time, because when we first came here in lockdown, so there was no one around, and the first time I saw her, and she's there, and she's got this knitted rainbow woolly bobble hat on. She's got knitted rainbow blanket over her shoulders, and she's so colourful. I didn't know who she was, but the one day I stepped out the front door and she was there, and I just went up to her and said, look, I said, I've not met you before, my name's Rob, I just want to thank you for the colour you're bringing to the day, because every time I see you go by, it lifts me, it makes me feel good. And she's, oh, my name's Rose, and now every time I see her we have a chat. So be grateful, be thankful, thank people, always give gratitude. If you have good service, appreciate it. If the service is not great, but you notice that that's because that person's obviously not having a good day, thank them for it, because that's probably a better service than they normally give, because they're having to make so much effort because of whatever's going on in their lives. Be generous with your gratitudes and your thanking of people. Yeah, complimenting people in towns, coffee shops, wonderful. I think I've read that one. So yeah, be abundant with your complimentaries and your thank yous, and just share that love around. Breathe. I know it sounds daft, but breathing, deep, slow, mindful breathing. After a while, the mind cannot maintain negativity. It cannot maintain stress or anxiety if you maintain a slow, nice, deep breath. Find that calm place. Find the stillness within you. You'll never find any of this stuff outside of you. It'll be mirrored. You'll see it. We've all been out and about somewhere and saw a beautiful bit of nature, a bit of a countryside that just seems so serene, almost mystical and peaceful, and there's lots and lots of places. And then we have this feeling of great peace. And I mean, if you've ever been up to Pennant Malengach, top of the Tanat Valley, it's the most peaceful and serene place. But it's not the place where that peace and serenity lies. It's in here. This is where that peace and serenity lies. It's yours. It always has been. Chase it, search for it, find it every day. Don't live according to labels. Labels come from other people. That's it. They're not your labels. They're not from you. And you are so much more than a simple label. People identify with their labels. They'll say they have a job. They do their job for 30 years. I'm a mechanic. And then something happens, or they retire and they can't do it anymore. And suddenly their whole identity is gone because they decided they were a label. You're so much more than that. You are infinitely more than any label could ever make you. Labels imprison us in certain ways of being and certain ways of behaving. So be you. Don't worry about labels. Don't try and fit in everybody else's boxes. You will never be happy. And it won't breed a positive mindset, because there'll always be that, oh, I haven't come up to their expectations. Oh, I haven't quite been the best cheese juggler in the world. That's because Sally was talking about cheese earlier on. Ditch the labels. Live outside of those labels. The last workshop we talked about labels. Labels pigeonhole us. They separate us. They keep us separate from everybody else. I'm a this, you're a that, you're a that, you're this, you're this, you identify as that, you identify as this. Every single time it divides, it divides, it divides, it divides. We don't need division in life. We need unity. We need to be bringing together. We need our communities to heal. We need our government. Let's not even go on to politics. Put the politics over there, Rob. Anyway, as I said, keep an eye on your internal dialogue. Challenge that inner critic. Change that voice. Make it a stupid voice. Make it Donald Duck. Whatever means that you cannot take that voice seriously anymore whenever it speaks negatively to you, do that. Engage in positive activities, yoga, hiking, walking, sports, whatever you can do. If you're limited in your abilities to get out and about, as long as you can go out and sit in the sun on a nice hot day, or enjoy a nice soak in a bath, or whatever it is you can do that is a positive activity, do them, and do them as often as you can. You deserve it. You do. And there was a quote the other day that said, humans find the level of misery they can tolerate and call it happiness. Positive mindset says you find the things that make you happy and do more of them. And then you'll be really happy. Not all the time, but on those times when you're not, you'll know that moment's going to change. It's all in transition. It's all passing. Take back control of the things you can change in your life. If things aren't working for you, look at situations and go, what can I do differently? You've got to take that responsibility, but what can I do differently? How can I make this different? Change those things that do not work for you that are within your power to do. Classic one, oh, I'm always late, and then if I'm late I feel bad, and I know I feel bad, but then I'm always late. Stop being late. You actually have complete control of that. Not 100% of the time, but a lot of the time. If you say you're going to meet up with friends and you're always 10 minutes late, start aiming to be 5 minutes early. Start aiming to be the first one there. And you can moan, you lot are late. But yeah, take back control. Learn to accept the things also that you cannot change. As I said earlier on, the stuff out there that goes on, you have very little control of. You can't change that. You can't change people. One of the lessons you learn as hypnotherapists and change workers is you can't change other people. There's nothing I can do to change another person. I can inspire, I can influence, and hopefully that person then makes the choices to make those changes and finds that place where they can. But no one can change you other than you. But when you choose to do that, it's an amazing journey to go on. Go easy on yourself is another thing to do. Don't beat yourself up if things aren't going quite as they should. Don't be harsh on yourself. Don't bully yourself. We all mess up. We all mess up. We all make mistakes. We all get it wrong sometimes. That is just part of being human. And think to yourself, if a friend messed up, would you go, oh, you're useless, you're terrible, you're rubbish. God, what are you even thinking about? Even trying that? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, oh, look, no, I know you can do this. Didn't quite work right this time, but you'll get it. You'll get there. Go easy on yourself. Where at all possible. There's the phrase, we are what we eat. Part of fostering a positive mindset and boosting that mindset is paying attention to what you are eating. Where at all possible, eating healthily. Because if our bodies are in a healthier place, our minds will be in a healthier place also. And if our body and our mind is in a healthy place, then our spirit, our soul, is also in a good place. So look at what you're eating, look at the things you put into your system, and it's okay to have treats. If I do this, I'm going to have a nice piece of cake because I did this thing and I deserve a reward. That's a really positive thing to do. However, if you've had the whole cake, a pack of biscuits and 3 Twixes, that's not necessarily going to help your positive mindset in the long run. So look at the food you're eating, look at your diet, and I hate that word, but look, aim to eat as healthily as you can because it will help your mindset. And finally, and this has always been a big thing, this is why I meditate, it's why I do the client work I do, it's why I did all the stuff I did with Druidry, is life changes. We're constantly in a state of transition. Learn to embrace change. Every moment, every change brings brand new possibilities. Yes, there is a nature of that change that says for something new to come in, something has to go. I'm looking at my books. So right now, if I wanted to put another book, but I did buy another 2 yesterday in Shrewsbury, I will be honest. But to put them on the shelf, I technically need to get rid of another couple of books. So change is happening, it will happen. It is actually one of those, the non-changing things, most non-changing thing in life is that change will happen. Make an effort to step outside your comfort zone. Learn to deal with change. Learn to deal with, accept with, and flow with change, difference. And you will notice how much richer life becomes. It might not be, you might go off somewhere that you never thought. I never ended up thinking I would run a pub. When I was 18, me and a girlfriend from college fancied it, but we were too young at the time, they wouldn't let us do it. Never thought about it since, but I ended up running a pub. But that came about because something unexpected happened. I saw it as an opportunity, albeit a bit of a crazy one, but there's the comfort zone thing. I'm going to go and do something I don't actually know how to do. I hadn't even really pulled a pint. But I did it, and it gave me an amazing experience, and I've actually found some of the videos from it, from some of the nights we had the other day, and that was wonderful. I look back, all those happy people, all that good times we had, and that came from embracing change and opportunity, because to take opportunities, things have to change. So all this put together is a lot to think about, but all achievable. All things that you can do, and rather than listening back, when you listen back to this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a PDF of my notes for this, so you can look through the different notes, and you don't kind of look at it and go, oh my life, there's all this stuff I need to do now to be more positive. Don't do that. go, do you know what, I haven't listened to music properly for a long time. I think I'll just start listening to some more music. And just pick one thing at a time. And when you get into the habit of that one thing, and you can notice the difference, then it becomes easy to pick up another thing and kind of notice even more difference. And before you know it, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road, you're more positive. Loads of notes, thanks for you. PDF when it arrives. I might have put some pictures in it, make it a posh one. So yeah, that's I could actually have discovered as I've been delivering this, considering I always felt like I was falling asleep. It's actually something I'm really quite passionate about, which is interesting. See, I wasn't expecting to get to the end of this and find out that as much as I have done. So that's an overview. Obviously, these are hour-longish sessions, so we can't go in depth, but there's lots of things there for you to explore, lots of things. And even just, there's a thing that comes from NLP, which is, there's kind of a couple of things. One, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. Of course you will. Second, you only need to change one thing at a time for things to be different. And if you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I've actually been feeling a bit negative about life, a bit down about life, change one thing. Pick something off those lists of ideas. Start listening to a bit more music. Practice changing your negative voice into a stupid one you can't take seriously. Work with some affirmations. Just take 1 or 2 ideas. It only takes 1 or 2 ideas. We're only ever one thought, one action away from that change that we're after. So grab it, listen to it, take what works for you, explore the other stuff, and have fun doing so. Because no matter where we are, it will change. This moment will not last. That's a wonderful thing. Fabulous. Right. So, to finish this evening's workshop, I will invite you to have a stretch, have a fidget, get comfortable. Quite a lot of... I normally only do about 20 minutes of talking, so it's been a big session tonight. And... oh, there's a crick. What I'm going to ask you to do is just take a moment to imagine what it would be like if you had the ability to close your eyes and almost instantly drift into a place where you became very aware of all the positives in your life. I mean, what would that be like for you when you close your eyes and drift into that place where you become aware of all those positives in your life? When we connect with our positives, we feel good, we relax, we let go of worries and concerns because we're focusing on those things that are positive. So what would that you be like? Just imagine that as what would that you look like as you closed your eyes? Would your eyes closed and a gentle smile appear on your face? Would you close your eyes and take a sigh to really let yourself drift into that place? Just imagine that now. In fact, see that you in your mind. Picture that you in your mind. That you that when you close your eyes in a moment, you can drift into a place where you can just feel the positive things in your life that you're truly grateful for. And take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, allow your eyes to close and step into that you. Drift into that place. And I'm not sure, as you relax, as you breathe and you listen to my voice, I'm not sure what that first thought is of something that you are truly grateful for, that you are thankful for in your life. But as you become aware of that now, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's something you've done, maybe it's something you're doing, but whatever that is, allow yourself to picture that in your mind. Just be there in your mind with whatever that is that you're grateful for. Allow yourself to truly begin now to feel that gratitude for whatever that is. And notice where within you now you can begin to feel that sense of gratitude. If you've ever been on a stage and had a bit of stage fright, butterflies, then you feel that in your stomach. But where do you feel gratitude within you now? Become aware of that. And as you become aware of wherever that is that you're feeling gratitude now, give that sense, that feeling of gratitude a colour. Or many colours, maybe it's more than one colour. But whatever that is now, whatever colour you've attributed to that sense of gratitude that you can feel within you, I want you to start that colour spinning and flowing within you. And as that colour starts spinning and flowing within you, I want you to get it moving to a speed, a tempo, a rhythm, where it will take over a life of its own, where it has enough momentum that it just can continue to spin and flow and feel good within you, without any effort, just by itself. And as that feeling of gratitude spins and flows within you, bring your mind to your home and your home life. Bring that idea, that thought of your home and your home life into that spinning, flowing gratitude as you begin to become more aware of the things in your everyday home life that you can be grateful for. From the littlest things to the biggest things. Things that maybe you had not noticed before, that now you can really begin to notice. And allow that to spin and flow in that current of gratitude. And as that continues to spin and flow and become part of that sense of the gratitude you have for all things, I want you to think about relationships, all the different relationships. Friends, family, loved ones, people you work with, all the different relationships. And as you're thinking now about all the different relationships, bringing that thought, that idea into that flow of gratitude. and allowing it to mix and mingle and flow as you can begin to become more aware of all those aspects, of all the different relationships you have that you are truly grateful for. And as you become more aware of them, you can see opportunities to give thanks for them. As that spins and flows in that cycle and movement of gratitude spinning within you. And as that circle, that cycle of gratitude spins and flows within you, with all those home and relationship aspects of which you are truly grateful for, joining with it, become aware of the activities you have in life, the things that you do. It can be everything from getting up in the morning to cooking food to going out to socializing to working. Think of all the activity that you do. And as you're thinking about that, bringing that idea to mind, bring that into and move that down into that spiraling, circling, cycling, spinning flow of gratitude. And allow it to flow and mix in. And as you do that, imagining that, sensing that, you can begin to become aware of all the activities in your life that you're truly grateful for. Down to the minutest details, the subtle things which maybe before you did not realize you were grateful for. You can now begin to discover just how grateful you are for all those things that you do. That's right. And as all those things, the activities, the home, the relationships spin and flow in that never-ending cycle and spinning flow of gratitude, think of yourself, your human experience, your whole journey up to this moment. And bring that sense of self into that flow of gratitude. As you can begin to become aware of the gratitude you have for this human experience, this conscious experience of all that is. And as you become more aware of your gratitude for this human experience, I wonder just how much more you can discover in each and every day to be truly grateful for. And for as sure as you cannot step out of your body because you're truly a part of it, you also cannot step out of the universe because you are truly a part of it. And so you can feel more gratitude in each and every day because you are part of something that is vastly bigger, more wonderful, more amazing, more mysterious. And for as much as you are a part of it, that also makes it a part of you. And I wonder how often you can be grateful for all that is now. And throughout this, there is a part of you that's been listening and taking on board. And if you found yourself nodding and smiling, and that would be your unconscious mind responding. Nods and smiles tend to be from the unconscious mind. So I want your unconscious mind to take everything it's learned today, everything it's acknowledged, everything it's agreed with, and to access every resource, every understanding that it needs to, for you to develop a truly positive mindset. Realistic, but positive. Where you are grateful for this experience, where you are willing to be open to opportunity, where you can flow and flex like water with change, embracing the many gifts and possibilities that every situation and moment presents. I don't know if it'll be in a week's time when you try to be negative in your mindset and discover you cannot. Maybe it'll be in a few weeks' time when you try to be negative in your mindset and discover you cannot. Or maybe it'll be in a few months' time when you, in a situation where you try to be negative in your mindset but discover you cannot. Because that positive mindset leads you forward, knowing that just for today you are good enough. And tomorrow is a wonderful opportunity to be even better than that. And so with all those things, in mind, out mind, about and within, it's time to return to feel good, carrying that positivity and that gratitude with you throughout the rest of the week. So I don't know if you're going to open your eyes on the count of 1 to bring that positivity, that understanding and that gratitude back with you. Or maybe you'll wait till 3 before you decide to bring back that positivity and that gratitude with you. Or maybe you'll strangely decide to go for 2 to really bring that positivity and gratitude back with you. But whichever you choose now, on the count of 3, you can open your eyes, feel good. That's 1, coming back, 2, all the way, 3. Open your eyes, stretch, feel good. Be here now.